All right, so give me 2 minutes of your time, and if you are not convinced by the title after 2 minutes, fine, you can click out of this video. I'm just going to share with you this short story of a woman a lot of us know. Okay, so for much of her life, this woman was a self-described introvert and homebody. She was deeply uncomfortable with the spotlight. She said no to pretty much everything outside of work. Interviews, events, panels, parties. She preferred to stay home, write, and avoid attention. She sounds like me, but it's not me. But everything changed in 2013 when her sister casually told her, "You never say yes to anything." That sentence hit her hard. It exposed how much she was letting fear dictate her life. And that moment became the spark behind who she later called her year of yes. What she later called her year of yes. So in 2014, she made a commitment. For 1 year, she would say yes to everything that scared her. Public speaking, media appearances, social invitations, personal vulnerability, even yes to her health as well as her self-care. And as she began saying yes, watch what happens in her life. She spoke at Dartmouth's commencement, her alma mater. She lost over 100 pounds. She built deeper relationships with her children and her family. And she rediscovered her joy of storytelling and expanded her influence even further, including a $100 million deal with Netflix later down the line. Her career was already successful before, but her personal growth exploded after stepping out of her comfort zone. She didn't become a storyteller overnight, but by finally letting the word yes take over, she became a more powerful, whole, and connected version of herself. This woman I just told you about is the brilliant mind behind our favorite shows such as Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder, and Scandal. That woman is Shonda Rhimes. Now let me read you this verse. James 2:17. In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. Now I know that maybe you're a Christian and you clicked on this video and you went like, "And what the heck are you talking about? Why is this video called Prayer is Not Enough? Prayer is enough. Prayer is powerful. All you got to do is pray." I don't believe that. I'm so sorry. I don't believe that. I know that certain Christians believe that. I don't believe that. Never will. I don't even think that's biblical, and I'm going to show you biblical examples of that. But before we even get into the topic of this video, my name is Anne. For those who don't know, this is the 3120 diary for girls in their 20s who want to become Proverbs 31 women, who are on a journey to becoming Proverbs 31 women, me included. I am not a pastor. I'm just a host that the Lord decided to pick, and I love using this platform as my diary of my findings of the Bible, my journey with the Lord, all sorts of stuff. And so if you are in that journey too, we welcome you. Subscribe and let's get into the video. All right, so here's what I mean by prayer is not enough. And I'm gonna give y'all a personal example also, because this is a diary. So I'm gonna give you an example. But to me, it's like, if you are at McDonald's every day, you are in McDonald's drive-thru every day, but you get on your knees every night and you pray for health, I'm sorry to break it to you, you're not going to get the health. Okay, I'm sorry, you're not gonna be healthy. If you are praying for purpose every day and the Lord has called you to start that YouTube channel and you haven't started it yet, I don't know if you'll get that purpose. If you have been, what other example? If you have been praying to get closer to God and have a relationship with the Lord, but you are not willing to read one verse a day, I don't know if you're going to get that relationship with the Lord. Because here's the thing. Sometimes whatever you're asking God to do, He's already answered you. He's already told you, Anne, or whatever your name is, do this thing, do this action in order for us to get there. You're unwilling to do the action, but you're saying that the Lord is not answering you. He wants you to do that action. And yes, sometimes that action is uncomfortable. It requires for you to step out of your comfort zone. But I don't know nobody who's successful who's never stepped out of their comfort zone. So here's a personal story. Recently, and I'm talking a few months ago, I have been praying a lot for self-love, self-respect, and boundaries. I have felt that throughout my life, I have often been a people pleaser, which is why sometimes I didn't always have the right friends around me. I wasn't always in the right circle. I was a people pleaser. I loved to please people. I loved when people loved me. And when I first started this YouTube journey, I was a little like that too. I loved comments. Oh my goodness, comments of someone saying that my hair looks good and that my nails look good. I kind of craved that. I got addicted to that. And I remember when I had my first video that got 40,000 views about me reacting to something Mr. Beast had done, I was checking comments, I'm talking 4 times a day. I was always in that comment section because people validating me, that felt good. And so I've been a people pleaser for a long time. And when you're a people pleaser, it's very easy for people to walk all over you. You have no self-respect. You just want to please people. And I had been praying for quite some time to fully eradicate that out of my life. I said, Lord, take that away. Enable me to have boundaries and to have self-respect and to have that self-love. I've been praying, and I realized as I was reading books, listening to more podcasts, and especially praying more, that it was going to require an action that I wasn't doing, which was the power of saying no. So funny, after sharing with you guys the story of Shonda Rhimes, whose life changed when she started saying yes, in my story and my journey, I had to learn to start saying no. No, I'm not available that day. No, I'm busy. Here's the thing, being a content creator, having dropped out of school and then become a content creator, not everyone was going to respect that. I didn't know it would happen that way, but it did. Not everyone was going to respect that. And I had to, and what happened with that was I started forcing myself to always saying yes to everything, because if I said no, I'm busy, I would have to explain why I'm busy, because people don't think that content creators are busy, until I realized I actually have nothing to explain to nobody. I have nothing to prove to anyone but God. And so a few months ago, I started saying no. I turned down a few opportunities in the last few weeks. I said no. And most importantly, I did not apologize for saying no. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this story with you guys is because this is something I had been praying for years. I mean, since I left high school, which is back when I was 17. But what was revealed on my heart was that I was going to have to put in the work, to put in the action on top of my prayer. Prayer is great. Prayer is powerful. I call everyone listening to me right now, watching me right now, to continuously pray. Pray gratitude. Pray for what you want. Pray that the Lord changes your situation. Prayer is powerful. But like we just read in the book of James, chapter 2:17, in the same way, faith by itself, if not accompanied by action, it's dead. And here's the thing. This is biblical, okay? David. Let's start with David, the shepherd warrior. David was a man after God's heart, constantly writing psalms and seeking the Lord. But there is this story that we all love to repeat, and we don't realize that it required work. It required an action. David versus Goliath. Now, for those who don't know the story, David at the time is a small dude. Goliath is this giant. The people are trying to find out who can beat Goliath. We need somebody to beat Goliath. And they can't find somebody. And David says, I'm going to do it. And indeed, David beats Goliath. David is small. Goliath is this 8-foot+ giant. But David beats Goliath because spiritual strength will always be stronger than physical strength. But that's not the point of my story right now. David beat Goliath. David he had to do the action. There was an action for David to do in this story, and it was to go out and throw that rock or whatever it was to Goliath. There was an action to take. No matter how much anxiety he might have felt in that moment, he had to take action. I'm going to give you another example. One of my favorite people in the Bible, Esther. I love her courage. I'm sure you do too. And as women who want to become Proverbs 31 women, a lot of characteristics of the Proverbs 31 women you can find in Esther. Can we agree? Esther. Now, Esther is a woman of prayer. She and her people prayed for 3 days before she approached the king. Before she approached the king? I need to fact check that. Esther had an action in her story that she had to take. She had to go to the king. Now, at that time, you're not supposed to go to the king unless you are called. Unless the king called you, asks for you, you don't just go to the king. But she had to stir up the courage to walk to the king and make a demand. There was an action. Prayer is great. Prayer was there. But there was an action. Jesus, I think that's the perfect example. Jesus, before getting crucified, makes a prayer to the Lord and says, God, if you can spare me of this, please spare me of this. He had to do it anyway, though. He had to go on that cross, be crucified to take away all of our sins, John 3:16. My point here is you have got to put in the action. You have got to put in the work that the Lord has called over you. Prayer is not always sufficient. Sometimes, let me be very clear, prayer is all we got. When someone in your family has a cancer diagnosis, they're stage 4, and the doctors are saying that they only have a few weeks left, all we have is prayer. There is nothing we can physically, action-wise, do for that loved one, unfortunately. All we got is prayer. But in other situations, you have got to put in the work. Have I not started saying no this year for the first time to opportunities, to people? I would not be here and be able to say that I'm someone who respects myself. That would not be a sincere thing for me to say. I started saying to people, I'm busy that day. I am filming a video that day. I am editing that day. And if people want to go ahead and say, oh, really? You can't move that. You can't. I just let them. I let people say whatever they want. I let people think whatever they want of me because I respect me. And the Lord sent me a calling. And I don't know who's listening to me right now, who's watching me right now, but the Lord sent you something. And for you to worry about what other people think of you, say of you, is a waste of time because the only approval me and you need is the approval of the Lord. And trust me, when God approves of what you're doing, when God sends you a calling, He will send you all the people you need in order for you to fulfill that calling. He'll send you the right friends, the right circle, the right church, all the things. When I tell you, I found a really nice church this year. My friendships are flourishing this year. New friendships are coming in this year. We got the 3120 diary coming in. When I not only prayed, but started putting in the work to my prayer, everything changed. And if you would today not go in that McDonald's drive-thru and pray for health, but instead go home and eat that apple, something just might change, you know? If you would not only pray for good grades today, but actually get to that desk and start studying, putting in the work, pray for discipline to put in the work, pray for discipline to do the work, pray for organization to do the work, you're going to see a lot of things are going to start flourishing and blooming and being beautiful. Now, for the story of Shonda Rhimes that I shared with you guys at the beginning, I don't know if Shonda Rhimes is a Christian. I don't even know if she prayed or whatsoever. The point of that story was to show that it is not until she started saying yes, it is not until she started putting in the work that a whole lot more of opportunities opened up for her. And today she is the producer of our favorite shows, like I said, Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal. I'm pretty sure she even did Bridgerton, but I would have to fact check that. It's not until she said yes. It's not until she put in that work. And I just don't like that message. I have gone to people before and I don't know, I'm kind of sharing what I'm going through. I'm not sure what to do. And all they say to me is pray. And look, sometimes, again, prayer is all we have. Sometimes that's literally our only solution. It is all that we can do. But I need to know what to do. If the Lord is calling me to do something, I want the strength, I want the motivation, I want that push to actually do it. If you're praying for health, those first few weeks of eating broccoli are going to be tough. But when you start seeing I don't know what your goal is, when you start seeing that it's easier for you in the bathroom, your skin is clearing up, yeah, but it required that action, right? Or even, you've been praying for a man, you've been praying for a husband, for a boyfriend, but you're always home. You're always home. Has the Lord been calling you to get on that dating app? I'm just asking a question. I don't know what the Lord is saying to you. I'm asking a question. Has the Lord been calling you to go to a church? Maybe you go find him there. Has the Lord been calling you to go out there, put yourself out there, but you're not willing to do the action? You think your man is going to be the mailman. And the chances of him being your husband are, I think we agree, very low. So we need to put in that work. I hope I encourage somebody who watched this video to put in the work today. The Lord has called you to take action on your prayer. And, it says it very clearly in the book of Jeremiah. The plans of the Lord for you are to prosper you, not to harm you. Like ever. He is never trying to harm you. He might put you in a situation where you are going to learn and it's going to be maybe a little difficult and you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone, like I said earlier, but it's never to harm you. His intention is never to harm you. He is a loving father. And if he is calling you to do something and to take action, trust me, you have the necessary resources, or else he wouldn't have called you to do it right now. Okay? Okay. Last mini story before I close this video. Recently, a few months ago, the Lord called me to do the 3120 diary. And of course, I use as many platforms as I can to promote the 3120 diary, one of them being TikTok. We're on TikTok, by the way, if you want to go over there and watch some of our videos. And I remember just thinking, gosh, I have enjoyed these past months of not doing YouTube and not having to promote myself on social media platforms. I don't want to. But I was also praying for growth. So I was praying for growth, but not willing to put in the work to do the promotions, to post the videos, to post the clips. And that did not work. Of course, that did not work. Once I started promoting the videos, putting in the work, we recently hit 100 followers on TikTok. Now, 100 may not be a lot to you, but we built back from zero, having created a new account. And now we are at 100. We are growing every single day. I had to put in the work. I couldn't just pray for the 3120 family to expand without being willing to promote the videos, to edit more videos, to post more clips. I had to put in the work. And I don't know who's watching or listening, but the Lord is asking you to put in the work. He's got you. Trust in his plan. Trust that he's got you. Okay? Put in the work on top of your prayer. Don't just pray and then you're not willing to do what God is calling you to do. So comment below what you've been praying for that requires action, that the Lord has been telling you, you got to put in the work, you got to do this thing on top of the prayer that you've been praying to me, or else this ain't gonna work. What is that thing for you? Share your testimony down below in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe, because I post videos on here almost every single day with shorts and one long form content video like this every single week. Follow us on social media, all our platforms, and I will see you guys next week. I love you. God bless you. I will pray for you. Leave your prayer request down below. See you soon. Mwah. Bye.